Welcome to the third season of National Network, where we talk about all things FBLA. My name is Jorge Hernandez Aguilera, and I'm Insects Outreach Coordinator. We have a special guest to kick off the first episode of National Network, starting FBLA as a middle schooler and working her way up to be the National Secretary her senior year. This person has truly made an impact on this organization. Without further ado, please welcome Olivia Herrin.
Hi, I love that. That's going to go right to my head.
Um, so going straight into it, you know,
Yes.
I mentioned a bit about who you are within FBLA, but can you tell us more about like your journey inside and outside of FBLA?
Yeah, of course. First of all, I love the introduction. I'm very excited to be here. I ran for secretary just so I could appear on national network.
It's an amazing, amazing.
Obviously. Yeah, no, I joined in sixth grade, and like you know how middle schoolers are, everyone's very awkward, not awkwardly. Nobody really knows what they're doing. So I was really just looking for some sort of like leadership community. Because like up until that point, you're never really given the opportunity to like lead and grow those skills. So I joined. I had no idea what like FBLA stood for. I just like saw it on the list of clubs, and my advisor, I knew her and I loved her. So I was like, okay, I'll go check it out. And then my whole sixth grade year, I was just kind of like confused about what was going on. But by the end, I like got my first officer position and I was just really enjoying it. And also like my middle level chapter was at the time the only one in the state. So like I'm so lucky because it's so weird to think for me. Like if I hadn't had that middle school experience, I would not be where I am today. But yeah, so I had middle school and then I transitioned into my high school chapter and it was so much fun. I have an amazing advisor and she's really awesome about community service. So it really like transformed my love for the leadership skills we got into using those skills into helping others in our community.
That's wonderful. That's such a beautiful response, honestly. I also joined in middle school, so like hearing about someone else's experience, it's just really wonderful to hear about.
And look, it works out. Like you're a sophomore in a national council. Like obviously it gets you places a lot faster too.
And you're the national secretary. You must be so proud and everything. It's a wonderful accomplishment. So, how did you like prepare yourself to like apply? And when you got accepted to be a candidate, how did you prepare for that?
Honestly, it was all about kind of getting my mindset in the right place. Running for national office is a big thing. And honestly, I just completely recommend the experience. Obviously, it's not going to work out well every time. I'm very lucky that in my case it did. But the whole running was such an amazing progress. It was kind of always in the back of my mind since freshman year. That was when I attended my first NLC. And when you see the national officers on stage, honestly, it's like they're superheroes. Like they don't seem like real people. Like you see them walking out there doing their power walk. And I just remember thinking like, I would love for that to be me, but it never even occurred to me that it could actually happen. But then, like, as I became a state officer and stuff like that, it was always kind of in the back of my mind. And then when I got the position of state president my junior year, I was like, okay, I love being state president, but like, what am I setting myself up for next? So throughout my junior year, it was always in the back of my mind. That's what I suggest to anybody who's planning to run the future. Start thinking about it early because I guarantee other people are also thinking about it. And then for the actual like the actual part where you're becoming a candidate is also really hard. And I feel like that's not something that's talked about a lot because sometimes it's very secretive and you're not sure who you can ask for help. But it's a lot of stuff like getting your campaign materials ready. My number one advice for that is have people proofread. Like it is not a good look, especially if you're running for secretary. If people like look at your flyer and they see a spelling mistake. So I had like five different adults proofread all my flyers, all my banners, and that sort of thing. There's like an interview process, a lot of that stuff. But leading up to NLC is a lot of hard work, but I learned so much and I grew a ton as a leader too.
That I'm so happy for you. You've gone through so much. It's it's amazing, honestly.
I'm
What
very
was
happy for me too.
no, yeah, what was your first national conference? Where was it?
Chicago. I love Chicago. It was so much fun. Like, let me tell you, NLC is great every year, but nothing will ever beat your first NLC, you know? Like the first time you see the stage, the first time you're surrounded by thousands of high schoolers and middle schoolers too. Like it was fantastic. Also, I love the city. I will say the only bad part about Chicago was the pizza. I was so sick of pizza by the end of that trip because it's like deep dish there, and I don't want to offend anybody. I know Chicago people are very passionate about their dish pizza. With that being said, I am content with never having that again. I had too much.
I think that was the first conference for national conference in my seventh grade year, maybe eighth
Yeah,
grade.
wait, I'm a senior. Okay, I'm 2 years older than you, so yeah, if I
Well,
was in grade, you would have been in seventh grade.
yeah, and I didn't get to go. that my sister and my chapter went to go, and they loved it, and they always like brag about it to me. So I'm jealous, but
As they should. Chicago is like it was so iconic. Like the national officer team that year too, like that got inducted. Like I'm sorry, just FBLA history is very iconic. I'm also kind of a dork for saying that. I mean, I'm also sitting. We're both sitting here on Friday nights wearing FBLA merch, so maybe we're dorks, but we're proud dorks. So
of
no problem.
course. I mean, this is your seventh year in FBLA, right?
Yes, and I will remind everybody of it. I am so proud of that statistic. I walk into a national officer meeting and I'm like, oh, 7-year FBLA member. I'm sure they hate it by now, but I don't care.
As your seventh year, you probably have like so many different memories, so many amazing like stuff that you love looking back to. And I just want to know like which one was your favorite out of all of them if you had to choose.
That's such a great question. Honestly, I kind of divide FBLA into categories for me. I have middle school, which I kind of call the dark ages. Like the logo was different. It was still like the American flag. And it was just like it was very different than it is now. And then every year has been very distinct. I think when I got state office, it was a huge turning point. I remember my sophomore year was my first year as a state officer, and it was kind of my first time being, well, I knew like a lot of smart people. I was very blessed to have so many like smart people I could look up to, but it was my first time being surrounded by smart people who were also equally funny. So I was like, wait, smart people aren't that like stereotypical nerd, like they have personalities, they want to help you, they want to grow you into a leader. And also, everybody on the state officer team that year is amazing. I was a sophomore looking up to these awesome seniors, and I just grew so much that year. And then also, I think my favorite year, though, had to be my junior year. That was when I was state president. I loved my state officer team that year. Every year it's fun, but that year it was a crazy year for us, so that we kind of like just had a ton of fun together. I got to go to my first National Fall Leadership Conference in Rhode Island, and it was fantastic. Just like everything about that year was filled with so many firsts. It was my first in-person state leadership conference because it had been canceled like every year from Maryland. So it was a great year.
That you have a ton of memories like that you can go back on. I think you'll definitely you should be thinking about FPLA when you leave because I think if it sounds like it was such a big part of your high school journey and who you have been as a person. So it's like just hearing about all of that, I really love it. It's really nice.
Oh yeah, I need to start thinking about that because I was like, as you like start writing college apps and all these like deep personal questions, I was like, oh great, FBLA keeps coming into my answer. Like I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm not sure if that's a good thing, but I'm very grateful. Lots of experiences to write about.
Yeah, so um you national secretary, you got to choose and create your own national council. I'm on that council. Yay. I love it. But being working alongside with your council, you've been able to plan and create so many different initiatives and programs. So, okay, this is two parts question.
I,
So, the first part is what initiative are you most excited to continue from previous years?
okay. Okay.
And oh,
Wait, do you want me to answer right now?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, first of all, you're right. I love my council. They're my favorite part about FBLA. I think FBLA councils are just such a unique experience, and I 100% recommend applying. I am so excited for SWAP. It is our Sharing with a Purpose initiative where members get to hear from other FBLA members. This year it is virtual and it is on November 21st, I believe. And it is just so much fun because I feel like sometimes it's a lot easier to hear something from a fellow high schooler who I can then like feel comfortable reaching out and asking questions. So yeah, I'm really excited for that. And I love how like ingrained it is in NSEC culture. They've done it for a couple years now. So I'm more than happy and very honored to carry on the tradition.
Yeah, I remember first looking at it when I was in the eighth grade, and I wanted to do it, but at the same time, I didn't really know anything about it. Like I had no idea what it was. So it's it's an amazing thing, and I really recommend everyone does it.
100.
So to the people watching, sign up,
Please,
register. Yeah, you'll love
if
it.
you're watching this like after the register, sign up to attend. Like you can go and watch the people. Like it'll be great.
Yeah. And the second question,
Okay.
what new initiative are you most excited to start this year?
That is a fantastic question. I'm really happy to hear that. Give me a second to think. Oh, sorry. Okay, something I'm really excited about that we've been working on recently is we are creating workshop templates specifically for state officers to use. I remember my first year as a state officer, and I know you're a state officer as well, so you can attest to this. It's like, okay, I'm going to be getting to give these workshops at conferences. And for myself personally, I was like, oh, great. I had never given a workshop before. I had no experience. So it was like, okay, who am I to be giving a workshop to these people who could probably present better than me? So through creating these workshop templates, we're really hoping to provide state officers and then just members in general with like a starting base and foundation, a template they can go to and be like, okay, this is a great workshop idea. That way they're not like scrambling last minute to find anything. And then with that, we are providing workshop training to state officers where we can give them tips and just presentation skill advice.
Are there, do you want to dive into, like, give a sneak peek onto some workshops that you're
Yeah, of course.
working on?
So some of my favorite workshops right now, actually, you and Taylor worked on. I love the intro to FBLA because sometimes I feel like we jump into FBLA really quickly and we're like throwing all these things at them. And I think especially for our newer members at conferences, we really need to sit them down and be like, hey, we're just trying to make sure you guys know what FBLA is. And I think that's also especially useful for chapter officers. So I really love like double use for that. I'm also very excited about like the Alzheimer's Association workshop just because our partnership with the association is so new this year. And it's a very important thing. Like we've been partners with March of Dimes for decades now. And to have a completely different partner, it's a really big deal. It's something I'm very excited about. And it's something that we need to make sure our experienced members and advisors are aware of.
Yeah, the workshops are something that we are working very hard towards, so I hope you guys enjoy it. So, moving on, you are being the national secretary. You're basically like the secretary of secretaries. You're
100%.
the secretary. So, with this in mind, what advice would you give to members who are interested or are tackling a position similar to yours?
Yeah, of course. So when I was running, the biggest question I had to like kind of ask myself as I was preparing my platform, campaign ideas was, what is the secretary? Like obviously I have meeting minutes and that sort of thing. But the answer I kind of came towards was a secretary is somebody who makes all pieces of information accessible to everybody. And that's really my main big goal this year. FBLA provides so many amazing opportunities. So whether you're a secretary at a chapter level or state level or eventually one at the national level, it's going to be your job to make sure that all members that you serve are getting access to those opportunities. That's why NSEC is tackling things like making workshop presentations to help make those skills more accessible. We're trying to teach people about BAAs, that sort of thing. And so really just my personal goal as secretary is to make sure I'm a person people feel comfortable asking and I'm good at sharing information. And then if you're secretary, hopefully you're doing the same as well. And that's also why I'm really excited to have you as like our outreach coordinator this year, because I feel like keeping the state secretaries informed is going to be such a key role for everything we're planning.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of the work that you've done recently, and I think it's something that a lot of people can look up to and just see how an inspirational figure you can be sometimes.
That's so sweet. See, this is just gonna go right to my head. This is not good.
Well, I said sometimes.
Sometimes, yes. Other times, completely no. It's like, get me away from this girl.
So you're a senior. This
I
is your
am.
final year in FBLA, final year in high school.
Oh, that's so
Like,
weird.
yeah, so like um moving away a bit from FBLA, what are you planning on doing in the future?
Yeah, well, that's something I've definitely been thinking about recently, especially with college applications, which is so weird because not to sound disrespectful to seniors, but like I remember when I was younger and I was talking to like my senior FBLA friends, they would bring up college apps. And I'd be like, yeah, right, whatever. Like I just would not want to hear about it. And now that I'm a senior, like I get the obsession because it's like this is our future we're kind of planning out. But I've always like kind of had an idea of what I want to do. I would love to be a criminal defense attorney in particular. Like that's always kind of been my goal. And I'd love to like work for myself on my own my own law firm. So even though I'm not like specifically majoring in business in college, the soft skills I've learned from FBLA are going to be invaluable. Every lawyer needs to be a great public speaker, the negotiation skills I've learned, and then also I do want to own my own law firm, like I just said. So the business skills for that I'll definitely need. But yeah, college is definitely the first step. I'm working on that right now. Hopefully, we'll see how that goes. But I'm very excited. I like FBLA has taught me so many things. It's exposed me to lots of different people with different backgrounds, which I will 100% also get to do in college. So it's really just set me up for nothing but success. But yeah, it'll be hard letting go. It's so weird thinking about like I'm so used to being like, oh, okay, next year for FBLA I can do this, like beginning to like plan my next year. And I can't plan that anymore. And that's so sad.
Well, you're going through to something so much more of yourself. Like you're going to learn so much, and outside of high school, it's going to be it's going to be new, crazy. I don't know what I'm saying. I've heard from other
Everything
people.
you're saying, like you have your older sister, like no,
Yeah.
I agree. And it's like eventually in high school by your senior year, it's kind of like I still have a lot to learn, but high school wise, I feel like I've kind of like completed this stage in my life a little bit. So I'm very excited to be like very bad at college. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm excited to like start at the bottom again, have to work my way up, not know what I'm doing, ask lots of questions. Like I love the process of learning and watching yourself grow, and that's something I'm 100% looking forward to.
Oh yeah, like, and if you do go into law, please like give me some advice. Please help me because
I
I'm
will.
interested. But
We can be lawyers together. That would be so much fun.
not against each other though, because
No, no, like we're gonna work together.
no, we're gonna work together because if we went
Exactly.
against each other, I would wipe the floor with you.
Oh, that's crazy. No.
Just
Okay, see, look. See, first you're applying to my council and you're like, oh, Olivia, you're so awesome. And next thing you know, you're on my council and I just mean nothing anymore. Like I see how it is.
well, honestly, I think that got to my head.
I think the power. But no, I just want to give you a huge shout out. NSEC has been amazing this year. I love my council members. And yeah, apply to a council, everybody. It's a lot of fun.
You've been amazing this year.
No, you have been amazing this year.
No, you
No,
have been amazing this Okay, okay, okay. Um, so, okay, final question to
okay,
close this interview. This one, get ready. This one is
I am ready.
extremely serious, okay?
Okay.
Um, something that I've been wondering, something that I know a lot of other people have been wondering, who is your favorite council member and why?
Well, my favorite council member is no. I'm not answering that. I mean, it's Jorge, of course. No. I have to only because you're right here. I like all my council members. They're all really awesome. They all bring something unique to the table. And every meeting is so much fun. And they all answer my texts. And what more can a girl ask for?
So, we're going to discuss this in private because I know it's me. You don't have to say it out loud. You don't have to say it in public. It's okay. I know it's me. It's okay.
Okay, whatever you need to tell yourself.
So this has been wonderful, amazing, and but that is all the time we have for today. Thank you so much, Olivia, you
This
for
was so
time.
much.
Thank you so much for your time and dedication, not only to this interview but to this organization. And just want to say thank you so much for being the first for our amazing series as we go.
Yes, I am so excited for this year. Like I've seen your like list of like upcoming interviews and stuff like that. You guys be ready. We have some great ideas coming, and this is so much fun. Like this is such an honor. And like I love talking about myself. So you just made my whole night.
And for the people watching, this was the first episode of National Network Season 3, but there is so much more to come. So I hope you guys tune in next time for episode 2 of National Network. Thank you.
Bye.